Day 5, and we are on our way to Sariska Tiger Reserve. Oftentimes, when I embark on these journeys, I come across such wonderful people. One such amazing individual was my Uber driver at Jaipur, who was supposed to drop me at Sariska. We spoke about various things during our journey, and what inspired me the most was his progressive way of thinking and really clear views about life in general, which pleasantly surprised me. Here's a bit of our conversation.
तो अभी ऊबर में क्या लड़कियां भी गाड़ी चला रही है जयपुर में?
हाँ सर, 20-22 लड़कियां चला रही हैं।
अच्छा।
और महिला पार्क में भी करीब 20-22 हैं।
अच्छा।
उनका खुद की गाड़ी है और खुद ही चलाती है, अच्छी ड्राइव करती है। ड्राइव भी ऐसी कि तारीफ के काबिल।
अच्छा, वाह। तो अभी उनके नंबर बढ़ रहे हैं क्या, फीमेल ड्राइवर्स के? महिला ड्राइवर की संख्या बढ़ रही है?
अभी तो नहीं बढ़ी है।
अच्छा,
लेकिन
अभी कुल 22 है।
हाँ।
अच्छा, सही है। तो लोग जो ये करते हैं, कहते हैं कि लड़कियों को चलाना नहीं आता, वो सब गलत है।
गलत बात है।
अच्छा, सही है।
As we head towards Sariska, let me walk you through a brief history of the park. Sariska, which falls under the Alwar district of Rajasthan, is one of the 3 tiger reserves in the state, along with Ranthambore and Mukundara Hills. Now, Sariska Tiger Reserve has a mixed history. In the early 2000s, all of Sariska's tigers disappeared. The disappearance was mostly attributed to poaching or illegal hunting. Frankly speaking, this was a national disaster and an embarrassment. One of the premier tiger reserves, barely 200 kilometers from the national capital, was ransacked by poachers and authorities were caught napping. However, in 2008, 9 tigers were reintroduced at Sariska from Ranthambore as part of the tiger reintroduction and repopulation program, which has seen quite a success so far. However, because of lackluster approach in their reintroduction process, the sex ratio of male versus female tigers is severely skewed. After our fun conversations, we eventually reached Sariska, which falls under the Alwar district of Rajasthan. As soon as we reached our forest lodge, we quickly unpacked and got ready for the evening safari. Here we are waiting outside the main gate to the park. As soon as we entered, our guide Ajay told us that he had sighted a leopard that very morning at a certain point. Needless to say, we rushed towards it, wishing lightning would strike twice. Speaking of Ajay, let's hear from him a little bit about the park.
टाइगर 16 है इधर। 16 में 13 टाइगर एडल्ट है, 3 गर्ल्स है। 13 टाइगर्स में से 4 मेल और 9 फीमेल टाइगर्स हैं। टोटल टाइगर्स हैं, उसमें से 5 टाइप करके जीपीएस कॉलर लगाया हुआ है। कॉलर से मालूम हो जाता है हमें कि किस एरिया में टाइगर का मूवमेंट है। एंड इसका टोटल एरिया 1213 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर का टोटल एरिया है। एंड जो हिल्स है अरावली है, जो कि वर्ल्ड का सबसे ओल्डेस्ट हिल्स है, अरावली हिल्स। एंड टोटल कैट स्पीसीज के एनिमल्स यहाँ पर टाइगर्स, लेओपार्ड्स, सिवेट कैट्स, जंगल कैट्स एंड रस्ट स्पॉटेड कैट, ये सभी कैट स्पीसीज के एनिमल्स हैं जो कार्निवोर्स एनिमल्स होते हैं। ऑमनिवोर्स में हाइना, जैकॉल्स, वाइल्ड बोर्स। जो ऑमनिवोर्स के एनिमल्स हैं जो स्कैवेंजर एनिमल होते हैं, जंगल के सफाई कर्मी। हर्बीवोर्स में डियर स्पीसीज और एंटीलोप स्पीसीज के एनिमल्स हैं। डियर्स में सांबर डियर और स्पॉटेड डियर्स है। एंटीलोप्स में नीलगाय हैं यहाँ पे। एंड अदर एनिमल्स में हेयर, मंगूज, पोर्क्यूपाइंस एंड अदर एनिमल्स है। अभी ये गांव है यहाँ सामने, ये स्टेट टाइम्स के गांव है यहाँ पे, बट सरकार अभी धीरे धीरे शिफ्ट कर रही है इन सब गाँव में।
कौन सा गाँव है
ये हरिपुरा गांव है।
अच्छा,
थोड़ा सा ऊपर रखिए इसको। चलो चलो, अभी थोड़ा आगे से दिखेगा वो। और जो टाइगर्स है 2008 में रणथंभौर से इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया था। हाँ, 2008 में रणथंभौर से इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया था। टोटल 9 टाइगर शिफ्ट किया गया था रणथंभौर से, इसमें से 9 इसमें 4 मेल और 9 फीमेल टाइगर। हाँ, रणथंभौर से टोटल।
वो दौलत सिंह वाला
मेल है वो ST6 नहीं, ST6 यहाँ पे अभी है, क्योंकि सबसे ओल्डेस्ट टाइगर है वो 14 ईयर एज का टाइगर है वो। हाँ,
और वही सबसे ज़्यादा साइटिंग भी वही
सबसे ज़्यादा मेल में वही साइटिंग दे रहा है। फीमेल्स में ST9, ST7, ST2 साइटिंग दे रही है। कभी कभी ST8 का भी साइटिंग हो जाता है।
As we were heading towards the spot, we suddenly heard a deer alarm call and saw this one deer looking in the bushes and stomping its feet. It is a typical behavior deer exhibit when they have spotted a predator.
आगे ले थोड़ा सा.
We looked around in the direction where the deer was looking, and there he was, a huge male leopard, waiting in ambush for an unsuspecting prey. It was hard enough for us to spot him, let alone a partially colorblind deer. Just look at him, a fully grown male in his prime. Sariska has quite a large leopard population. Now, leopards in India is always secondary to the tiger or the lion in the pecking order. As in, when they share a forest with the tiger or lion, they are never the main predator and are often killed or evicted from their territory by the primary species. The only exception is probably Gir National Park, where despite having a healthy lion population, the leopard number are one of the highest. In Sariska, however, it's a different story. Despite all efforts from the authorities, the tiger numbers have not risen much in the last decade. As a result, the leopard population is rising. On the other hand, the tiger population is almost stagnant. As he got up, we got all excited and thought that he might come out and cross the road. But little did we know that we were in for a bumper sighting. He instead decided to climb a nearby tree, and we got our first vertical shot of the leopard.
अंदर जा रहा है वो.
थोड़ा सा आगे निकल गई. हो गया.
After the amazing sighting, we headed back towards the center point. We spotted a grey francolin along the way. Now, the center point is quite an interesting place. You'll get to see many birds like rufous tree pies, jungle babblers, grey francolins, and shrikes. One thing is quite weird is that these birds in general are quite shy and would never come close to humans. But over here, they are conditioned to come at very close proximity to humans, sometimes even feeding off of their hands. This is due to some ignorant tourists feeding these birds random things like chips, kurkures, and other processed foods, which really affect their digestive system. The excessive salts and preservatives in such food could be fatal to them. So I request everyone visiting any forests to please not to feed wildlife when you're there, especially any kind of junk or processed food. You might think that you're doing them a favor, but believe me, this is the biggest disservice you can do to them. After the public or wildlife service announcement, back to the actual wildlife. See how this male sambar deer is brushing its antlers in the thorny bush? Do you know what it is doing? Deer shed their antlers every year and then grow them back. When the new antlers grow, they are covered by a soft velvet-like skin which has blood vessels and supply nutrients to the antlers for its growth. When the new antlers have grown completely, the deer brush them against rough surfaces, tree barks, and thorny bushes to remove the velvet-like membrane and expose the hard calcified antlers underneath. These can be quite a weapon during rutting or mating seasons. As we moved on, we spotted these two golden jackals crossing the road. Next, Ajay, our guide, took us to this water hole, saying that it was a favorite hideout for ST6, one of the most famous tigers at Sariska. We waited there for several minutes, but the tiger eventually eluded us. We did manage to spot a few cheetahs and peacock, but that was it. That concluded our safari for the day. We did manage to catch the sunset. People rave about sunsets on beaches, but sunsets in the forest is a whole different experience. After spending some time observing the sun going beyond the horizon, we headed back to our forest lodge. The staff there were extremely hospitable and set up a bonfire for us. We got to spend some quality time near the fire and share the day's experience with other folks.
अरे बाप रे, लगे हुए हैं सब फोन पे.
Next morning, we woke up early for our morning safari and headed straight for the park.
तो ज़्यादा ही लाइट दे रहा है GoPro तो.
Early mornings and late evenings are the best time to catch predators in a forest. So we were optimistic. Shortly after entering, we stopped at a place where we heard peacock alarm call. After spending some time there, we realized that our luck had run out, so we decided to move on. A little ahead, we spotted a nilgai nursing her 2 young calves. This was quite a sight.
हाय बोलो.
We kind of realized that the day was going to end up dry and started our usual banter among each other when suddenly this happened. We spotted a leopard basking in the sun on top of a hill, directly above us, observing our every move. It was quite far, and the heat wave were making it really difficult for our cameras to focus. But more special than the leopard was our next subject. We were the first to record and photograph a cinereous vulture on the edge of a cliff. Although it was quite far, it was still distinctly identifiable. That was indeed special. There is a famous Hanuman temple in Sariska, which attracts a lot of devotees and visitors from nearby villages. We found this small tea stall near the temple premises serving hot tea, kachoris, and other snacks. Tea and kachoris in the middle of the forest? I was totally down with that. With that, it brings us to the end of our trip at Sariska Tiger Reserve. Our next stop is Keoladeo National Park, formerly known as Kyoladeokana Bird Sanctuary. Before we end this video, do subscribe to stay updated for the latest videos. Like, share, comment, and feel free to share it with your friends and family. As always, take care of yourself, and I'll see you later.